Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bottom Line with Ronnie and Byron. We have some news to get to you, and we are going to start with our local and state news. Our first story up is we're going to give you an update on the school bus hit and run accident that happened on August the 25th. Byron, they did find the driver as well as the car that was responsible for hitting the school bus in Jackson County and basically fleeing the scene. The driver was named Trenton Jeter. He was from Grand Ridge, 22-year-old from Grand Ridge. So Byron, I'm glad they caught him because that was dangerous. Thankfully, the driver of the bus, as well as the 40 plus kids that were on the bus, were not injured. So, but they did have a manhunt out for this young man, and they did find him. So that accident was on August the 25th in Grand Ridge. Also, I want to talk about the truck that was found in the Chattahoochee River. A lot of people did see that on the news. Funny thing is, when they pulled the truck out of the river, most people did agree that it had been there a while. But Byron, that truck had been stolen from Benton County, Iowa in 2013.
Wow.
So 9 years ago. Yeah. And they don't know, who stole it or anything like that. They just know that it was a stolen vehicle and it was stolen back in 2013. So that is the story on that truck that was found in the Chattahoochee River. Crazy, huh?
Yeah, I hope nothing. I hope it's just a stolen vehicle and that's it. Nothing more.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah. And also, I want to just kind of touch on again. We mentioned this before, but the Attorney General Ashley Moody has come out and made a statement regarding the fentanyl, basically kind of warning the college students that one pill can kill. And so she's on this campaign trying to warn the students that, it's not wise to do illicit drugs. It's not wise to do any of the sort because, it's laced with stuff that can really kill you. So, we're going to echo that on this show and remind, our young people and just people in general that one pill can kill and do as much as you can to, tell your family members to stay away from any illicit drugs, Byron. Want to make sure that everybody understand too that before I forget that our local and state news is brought to you by Brightway Insurance. Brightway Insurance is located in Marietta at 2867 on Caledonia Street. And the number is 850-633-3460. You can reach them again at 850-633-3460. That is our local and state news sponsor. Brian, I want to talk to you again about some of the things that's going on in Jackson County. It's not a whole lot, but what happened on Friday was ladies first. There was kind of like a meeting of the minds of some young ladies that around the county, and they met and kind of shared different things on the spiritual level as well as, working level. So I don't know if it was recorded or anything like that. I did get a chance to attend, but it seemed like it was well attended. I think they had over 100 women that attended that meeting. Yeah. So it seemed like it was good. So I'll try to get some more information on that event. Again, that was called Ladies First. And the chamber, I think, was one that kind of sponsored it and kind of basically put it together. So
yeah, congrats to them.
Exactly. Yeah. Again, Byron, our local and state news is brought to you by Brightway Insurance. Brightway Insurance is located in Marietta, so make sure you reach out to TD Horn and his staff for any of your insurance needs and pick up the phone and give them a call at 850-633-3460. What do you have for national news, Byron?
So I like to get mine in the front end because we care. We're here when you need us. Long Granberry Funeral Services doing business as People's Funeral Home. You can give Cephas or Gwen a call at 850-482-2233. Once again, that's 850-482-2233. Again, that's People's Funeral Home. So real quick, I want to get into Mississippi. 7 water distribution sites will be open until further notice in Mississippi. It's kind of like a reoccurrence of the place in Detroit. They're having, real issues with the flooding. And so the governor is telling the people, he's apologizing, he's warning them and giving them due that, from the state, the local and federal level, they're trying to do things to get it cleared up. But he is declaring a water system emergency. This was as of Monday. And a lot of people are frustrated. It's sad to see, and they're having to go to neighboring cities to get this clean water. Even though water pressure is coming back, they're still advising the citizens not to drink the water, not to brush their teeth, and not to bathe with that water. So it's sad to see, but man, and it seems like one of those issues again where something that was a prolonged issue now in the face of a disaster just exacerbates, and it ended up being a way worse situation than it should have been. But hopefully they can get it fixed out there in Mississippi and in Jackson, Mississippi, to be more specific, and get things, to a good level for those citizens.
So but all of this is because of the flooding, right, Byron?
Yes. So it's because of the flooding. I believe it's the water plant was low, no water pressure, and it looks like it just got worse and worse. But they did have issues with their water systems before, and once the flooding came in, it just made it even worse. So yeah. So my next story, interesting, and I kind of felt like it was coming this way. Just I think all of us parents do, but the pandemic has erased 2 decades of progress in math and reading. So it's the national test results schedule have been shown that especially in the ages of 9-year-olds, lost around they went all the way back to the 70s, and basically said that the decline has done such a drop in the students that it may take those from affluent communities 9 weeks just to bounce back, and those from low income, especially Black and Hispanic communities, anywhere from 36 weeks to get back to par to where students were before the pandemic. Which this sounds like it's going to be a more than just school, but it's going to have to be a community effort to get our kids back on par from how much that they lost during the school season being out, during the pandemic. So those nonprofit organizations and the community organizations, we've got to pull together. This looks like something that's going to be a prolonged thing for a while to get our kids back on point to where they were. My next story, so it kind of segues into the next one. Interesting, in California. California school district punished Black students more severely, the feds say. Now they're agreed to make changes. A few of those changes. This was in it was Victor Valley Union High School district in Southern California, San Bernardino County. They committed a pattern of discriminatory practices toward Black students that violated the Civil Rights Act of 1964. In their studies, they found out that white kids were punished far lesser than the Black students, even in situations where it was a one-time occurrence, and they got like way harsher punishments, even when it came to dress codes. And this is something that other communities need to be aware of. It was from the civil rights groups, including the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, that helped get these studies done and find these indiscrepancies. It's interesting, but they've agreed that the county agreed to make the necessary changes, such as sensitivity training, different climate surveys, things like that, to step up and make those changes, because it's unfair to the kids, it's unfair to the communities of what's going on. And in my last story, NASA gears up for the second attempt to launch Artemis moon rocket. And that's what happened. It looks like they're trying to schedule for Monday, so for Labor Day. Engineers had revised this fueling timeline for NASA's giant Artemis moon rocket to resolve the engine cooling issue that derailed the launch. So they're trying to go back at it. The blast off as you were Saturday. So we'll see what happens. I know a lot of people like to watch those takeoffs, and this will be the first one in a long time going back to the moon. So it'll be cool to see that. And that is it for me for national news. But before I step away, I want to mention People's Funeral Home again, because we care. We're here when you need us. Long Granberry Funeral Services, doing business as People's Funeral Home. Please, for more information, give them a call at 850-482-8255. 850-482-2233. Again, that's 850-482-2233. Again, that's People's Funeral.
All right, Byron, we're going to move on to some sports. We're going to start off with some volleyball, some high school volleyball. The Lady Bulldogs here in Mariana actually took on Freeport on Thursday night, and their JV as well as the varsity played. JV and varsity both won. And it's a great thing because that was the JV's first win of the season. And
Cool.
varsity advances, and varsity advances to 4-1. Now, here's the interesting thing. On Tuesday night, September the 6th, Mariana will face Bluntstown. Bluntstown will come to Mariana, and both JV and varsity will play. The Byron Bluntstown just came off of a loss. They lost to Liberty County in 3 sets. So Bluntstown now is sitting at 3-2, and looks like Liberty County is kind of like the one that's just pulling away from the pack here in our, Jackson County, Liberty County and Washington County. So Liberty County is looking at their scores. I mean, their actual record now, they're 5-1. And wow. I brought that up because who's our favorite? Sneeds. Our Sneeds Lady Pirates. They're coming off starting off very rough. They're 1-5 right now. Yeah, they actually fell short. They lost to Lincoln on Thursday night. And so they will play Bluntstown in Bluntstown on the 8th. So that's going to be interesting.
And they've had a pretty tough schedule starting out.
Yeah, they do. They play some big schools, and I've talked to Coach Edge before, which is the coach for Sneeds, and she say they do that so they can basically make themselves tougher. That's why they play the bigger schools. So, but they're starting off pretty rocky right now. So again, Mariana's looking pretty good. They're 4-1. The varsity. They will play Bluntstown. That's going to be a really good game. It's going to be in Mariana on Tuesday. JV plays at 5 and varsity plays at 6. And then again, Bluntstown and Sneeds will play on Thursday night, the 8th. And so that's going to be really, really, really good. So I want to just mention that if you are interested in some volleyball, make sure you kind of check out the schedules and come check the ladies out. It's a fun game to watch, and some of the matches are very intense. So Byron, you should check it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna get on out there. I'm torn between what is it, basketball, cheer, and soccer right now.
Okay, so, that's all you got. Yeah, you got your hands full.
I'm running around. Yeah.
All right, so those are your volleyball scores. I'm going to move on to some college action. If you don't know, this weekend is the Orange Blossom Classic, which means FAMU and Jackson State will face off in Miami. They play on Sunday at 2:00, and you can watch that game on ESPN2, or you can watch it via live stream. It's going to be on ESPN, Hulu, Fubo TV, DirecTV stream. So, but if you want to watch it on TV, it is going to be on ESPN2, 2 p.m. Central Time. So I'm going to be playing it in front of the TV. I'm going to be watching my alma mater and kind of see if they can, give Jackson State a run for their money. So. How about you, Byron? Give it, check it out.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, the last game they played against North Carolina, they really gave them a run. I mean, plus it was short, 10 players. I think they just got tired and burned out. They didn't have enough guys in the second half, but they look good. They look real. FAM look real good against North Carolina, and I believe they will. I believe they will give Jackson State a good run. So
yeah, it's gonna be a good game. So set your TVs Sunday. 2:00.
Oh, you got a new cowboy. One of FAMU's players that came in the draft is now signed with the Cowboys, and I mean,
is it the Bell guy last night?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, he had a great preseason. So another FAMU alum.
Awesome. All right, so I'm going to keep it moving. We're going to talk about the Jackie Robinson Museum that opened in New York, Byron. That is. I think is monumental. I think is deserving, and the Dodgers had a chance to visit a museum over this past week, and they were blown away, mesmerized. And so when they walked through the doors, they actually saw like a 5-minute, basically kind of like a highlight of Jackie Robinson's career, and they had a message from his wife. And they said it was just, really, really, really nice to see. So that's going to be on my to-do list. That's my bucket list, to visit the Jackie Robinson Museum, which is located in New York.
I'm gonna
I
add
want
that
to
one
be
of mine
sure.
too.
Yeah, add that to your list. And it's something to see. So I'm glad. But his wife, let's see, what's her name? What's his wife's name? Help me out.
Rachel.
Rachel. There we go.
Rachel.
Yeah, her name is Rachel. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, she's Jackie's widow. So hats off to her and the entire family and the team that actually brought this into fruition. So, but that's all I have for sports, Byron. What do you have for entertainment?
So for entertainment, got some cool stores. Kanye West is planning to open Yeezy stores around the world. So he's going to start with Atlanta. So I'm assuming he's going to hit every state, but hit the main metropolitan cities in every state, as well as going around the globe. He also kind of put out that he saved Adidas and Gap. And this, Kanye, Ye, Yeezy, whatever name he's going
Whatever
by.
it is.
Yeah, you know how he does. He's controversial. He'll throw some stuff out there. So he said that I'll buy the land and or building. He made an Instagram post, and he said anyone who has over 10 years retail experience and is ready to change the world, store locations, he's going to let them know. And he said, we'll find you. So, yeah. So it's getting out there. They're saying
what's the prices like? Do you know? Like, what's the?
From what I've seen, it's some crazy. Like he's astronomical price. It's kind of like he's along the big top brands, that everybody tries to break their back buying, like Gucci and stuff like that. And that's what he's on that level. I mean, and the crazy thing about it, hasn't been out that long, and now he's already at billionaire status. So
really.
Yeah, it's a method to his madness, and it's working. So, shouts out to Kanye. So it'll be a Yeezy store where people are running and chasing and trying to, get Yeezys and Yeezy apparel in every state across the country. So, kudos to that. My next one, sad to say, but for country fans, Florida Georgia Line, they are splitting. So they just had their final show together, and it was bittersweet. The Tyler Hubbard and Brian Kelly played their final show together in Minnesota State at the Minnesota State Fair this past Wednesday. And they basically said it's not, they're not doing it because of beef. They're just moving on and going their separate ways. You'll still see both artists doing different projects. But so for a decade, no longer, no Florida Georgia Line. And in my last, my last story, Tyrese. Tyrese is back in the news. We may see some more crying videos. I don't know, but he will be paying. He will be paying $10,000 a month in child support. He ticked off the judge. He ticked off the judge in his case. The attorney for his former wife, Samantha Lee Gibson, basically was asking him how much did he make in 2018, which was a little over $2 million. And he kind of responded with, I don't do the CFO thing. Here's a question to you. And it upset the judge. He cut him off and was basically, that's not what we do here. But in the end, he will be paying $10,000 a month, $10,690 a month to be exact. He did come off, good because he pays the same thing for his oldest child. And he doesn't have to pay alimony. And he walks away with, I think, the Range Rover, and his wife kept the Land Rover. So it came out pretty fair. And the judge made a point that he understands that the money is for the child and for the child's well-being. And hopefully we can move on, even though they may not be ready to mingle quite yet, but they are single. So Tyrese is he's on out the way. So hopefully we won't see no more crime videos. But that is it for me in entertainment. And I'm throwing it back to you.
All right. I have you seen the story that there's still some players that are considering playing for Russia in spite of what's happened to Britain.
Well, that's the thing. I didn't realize how many players did. Patrick Beverly just signed with the Lakers. He played in Russia. I didn't realize how many players played in Russia, and I think I seen somewhere where Roy Jones is going to try to talk to.
Well, now he's going to try to advocate. That's what he's trying to do for Britain.
So I'm like, man, will y'all stay out of Russia, man?
I know.
Before all y'all get found with some marijuana.
but listen, I thought it was interesting that Roy was like he can pick up the phone and call Putin. Did you see that? Like,
yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I mean that's the way he was kind of communicating. Like, he's going to go over there and see what he can do, and if he have to, he'll pick up the phone and call Putin. I was like.
Yeah,
that's what I got out of it when I read it. So
then I go
yeah, but no, these guys are like saying they will play.
Hey, more power to them. I personally,
like, you got James Ennis, Vince Hunter, and Malcolm, what's his name, Thomas. There, I mean, I'm like, if I was a player, there's no reason or no rhyme or reason why I would go over and play. Now, I'm going to point this out because I know I've said this before. So the NBA, everybody knows their salaries are like triple or quadruple maybe 10 times, I'm going to say that, as much as the WNBA, the women. So the WNBA players, they go overseas to play to make money because their salaries are 6 figures and less. They don't get $1 million salaries like the guys. So I'm saying that to say that that's why they do it. They don't do it because they just, are greedy. No, they do it because they want to make, a nice salary, and they can't do it here in the States. So that's why they go. But the men, they don't have to do that because they get salaries like these guys right here. I'm sure their salaries are like, what Brittany and some of the rest of them make over here. And these are, we don't know those names, did you? James Ennis, them, Vince Hunter.
Yeah. Well, see, that the thing with that is relative. Some people, just because they have a $20 million, $10 million contract, they might be spending. They probably still going paycheck to paycheck.
But still, that's their choice. That's their choice.
Well, it's the women's choice too, because I'm kind of a little bit in disagreement.
But we don't. The women don't get that money, Byron. That's what I'm saying. Women do not get $1 million salaries for the WNBA. They don't. They get 6-figure salaries. Some of them make like $75,000.
I got you. But at the same time, this is my opinion. When it comes to female sports, especially when you're talking about the WNBA, women have to support women's sports.
Right.
NBA players didn't start out making that money. They had to have unions. They had to. Dr. J didn't make what LeBron James making. It took a minute, and they had to build the sport up. It's going to take a process for the WNBA to build that sport up because you already got men die hard watch basketball. You want them to now get die hard in WNBA. You got to get the same women that love women, spend plenty of money on a lot of other things. You got to get more women involved in the WNBA to spend that same money to get their sport up. Same time, I don't think I'm not with going to a foreign country that's an enemy of the United States to go play anything, to go do anything.
Like what Ennis is doing now. He's prominent. He's one of the prominent ones. So
I just think it's not common sense for anybody to go to Russia, to go to China. You can play in France, you can go play in Europe, but not
Mexico, whatever.
Especially not an enemy country that's already at war. We have sanctions on them, so we're not in a good relationship. And if you have any type of celebrity status globally or in the U.S., it'll be kind of like a jab to the U.S. to lock up, some of the players if he's doing it, if he's not doing it. I just wouldn't. The one rule what's the one rule with dealing with the devil? You don't. I wouldn't.
Don't do it. Yeah.
I wouldn't even play with that.
And people have come out and said this is not the time to go to Russia. They've said so, but Ennis is he's signed, he's going. So
hey, all I'm saying, you better him than me. But when he don't like somebody to come save you now, y'all going over, what's over there. So I just I'm not big on Russia like that. So
okay.
I'm US to the core. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, I
get them orders. I go. That's the only way I'm going. That's the only way I'm going.
But, all right. Well, I just want to put that out. It's just, Anyway, all right, let's move on to our relationship tea topic. So last week we talked about staying focused when you're trying to accomplish your dream or your goal, or I think the week before we said in order to get more you have to do more, and then we came back and said, okay, in order to do that you have to stay focused. Well, this week we are going to basically say it's okay to reset if you find yourself in a position that you can't really obtain what you're trying to do, or you're kind of in limbo for some reason. But it's okay to hit the reset button, right, Byron?
Yeah, exactly. It's okay to reset or even reposition yourself. Sometimes you have to fall back. My biggest problem is I'm the big idea person. When I envision something, I envision the best case end result scenario, but it's steps and it's stages to that. And sometimes when you fall short of it, you get deflated, you get demotivated, you're frustrated, you get depressed. And sometimes it's okay. If you want to start a university, start with a school, start with a small school. If you only get 10 students, great. And eventually you'll get to that big, but don't get, don't get down. Just sometimes you have to reset and refocus. I think we were talking about Tabitha Brown. She always wanted to be an actress, and she got success and fame in TikTok videos making vegan recipes. And now she's able to, boom, get at it. She's got book sales and seasonings. She's selling Target, nationwide. Right. It's like, hey, sometimes you have to take a little, different direction to get back to your main goal. Right. It's okay.
Byron, you and I are examples of that. I mean, we don't have to look too far. We can look at each other and say, hey, that's what we did. We reset after the election. You didn't win, I didn't win. So hey, you go back to what you were doing, right? You just hit the reset button.
And my thing is, I have to lead by example with my kids. If I'm telling them to never quit and never give up, always just keep fighting no matter what you do. I can't sit back and get frustrated and just give up. Now you got to see what I'm speaking into existence. You got to see it happen. So no matter what, I'm gonna keep grinding. I'm gonna keep digging. I may have to reset. I may have to refocus, but I'll get there. No matter what, because my will outlast anybody that tries to put anything against me. I'll outlast you because I work hard, and we just got to keep doing it.
So it's okay. It's okay to hit the reset button and to regroup, and just kind of reevaluate and all the re's that you need to do in order to get where you're going. So it's okay. That's all we're saying. It's okay. Mm-hmm. So just remember that. All right. Anything else, Byron?
Real quick, I know everybody's seen me on Facebook. I'm selling tickets for the first responder scholarship at Chipola College through the Optimus Club. It's a very positive thing. It's an custom-made AR-15 made by Armory Dynamics. So just inbox me, give me a call, what have you, and it's $10 per ticket. I think I bought 10 because I feel like $100 is a good deal for a $1,500 rifle. So, but I'm not saying buy 10. I'm just saying $10 tickets. Please get your one. It's all for a good cause. And message me, get in contact with me, even through Bottom Line Running Back.
All right, well, that's going to wrap up the show for this week, and we are going to say we're going to see you next week. Remember everything that we've said today as far as what's coming up, as far as the sports games and all the updates that we gave you regarding the local and state news. So we're going to say we'll see you next week, but remember this: when you know the truth, you can speak the truth. And when the light shines brighter, it shines for two. We'll see you next week.